Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a 4 looks, 1 palette using the ODEN'S Sea Talk palette. This palette is from the Perfect World collection in collaboration with Lauren May Beauty. I did a first impressions of this palette and another palette from the collection, the Florist Story palette, in collaboration with Makeup Just for Fun a few videos back, so I will have that linked in the description below. But in today's video, I'm going to be playing with the Sea Talk palette again and creating 4 more looks. As of the time of filming this video, this palette is still in stock on the ODEN'S website, but you never know with ODEN'S if there will be more restocks after it sells out again. So in my humble opinion, if you're interested in grabbing this palette, I would go ahead and grab it. But if you would like to see how I created this and 3 other looks using this palette, then please just keep watching. Okay, hello. So for look number 1, I was thinking I wanted to do kind of like a neutral everyday look with a twist because I feel like this palette really lends itself to that kind of a look. But I honestly can't decide which colorway I want to do, so I think I'm going to give you 2 for the price of 1 and do 1 on one eye and 1 on the other eye. Little cheeky of me to put 2 looks into 1, but they're the same general style of look, just using different colors from the palette, so I hope that makes sense. A couple things I wanted to note. So in my last video where I did my first impressions of these palettes, you might not remember because it was a few weeks ago, I experienced a ton of fallout onto my foundation, and I had brought up in that video that potentially using something like the NYX glitter primer would help. So I am going to try that today. And then I also just wanted to see how these shadows would perform over a different base. Typically when I'm doing my eyeshadow, I will prime my eyes with something like the Bobbi Brown Longwear Cream Shadow Stick, which is what I did in the last video. And I will set with a eyeshadow, powder eyeshadow in the same kind of color as my skin tone. And sometimes I find that that can make eyeshadows go on a little bit more sheer just because the base is so kind of blanked out, and it's kind of like putting really colorful shadows over a white, so it kind of shears them out in a way. So I just put a little tiny bit of concealer on my lids and set with powder this time. So I don't know if it'll make a huge difference or not, but I figured it might be interesting to just try these shadows out with some tweaking to the techniques and see if that makes a difference at all. So I guess we will see. But let me zoom you in and we can get started with the look. Okay, so I'm gonna do a more cool toned version and then a more warm toned version of generally the same look. So I'm gonna start with the cool toned eye, and I'm gonna take the shade Dolphin Tail as my crease shade. And this is just that more cool tone, kind of ashy brown color. I'm going to try to do a more sheer wash of this in the crease and then kind of build it up at the outer corner to do kind of like a smoky, everyday, neutral look with a pop of color in the inner corner. And then I'm just going to take a smaller and more dense brush and kind of build that up a little bit more in the outer V of my eye. Then go back in with my blending brush and blend that edge into the crease. So even with the slight change to my priming step, I still think this matte shade is a little bit more on the sheer side, which is fine. Like, it definitely builds up on itself, and I think you can build it up to get it a little bit deeper, but I just wanted to make sure that it really was the shadow and not, you know, the lighter cream colored base underneath. Take a touch of my face powder on that fluffy brush to just diffuse that edge a little bit. I find whenever I work with cool tones, I always feel like the crease can look a little bit patchy on me. I don't know if it's my skin tone or what, but just trying to diffuse that out slightly. Okay, and we are ready for our shimmer, so I'm just going to take a little bit of the NYX glitter primer, and I'm going to put that kind of all over my lid and just a little bit up into the crease to give that shimmer something to stick to. And we will see how this helps with the fallout situation. I'm going in with my finger and the shade Smoky Pearl and just pressing that right on top of the glitter primer. This is such a stunning shade. It really is such a Lauren May Beauty shade. A beautiful, shimmery taupe that's really, really sparkly. Gorgeous. And so far so good on the fallout. So the NYX glitter primer really seems to have done the trick. I'm gonna try to be a little bit careful when I'm blending just to try and avoid any additional fallout happening, but so far I'm not seeing any glitter particles on my face, so that is a very good sign. So I'm just going back in with that shade Dolphin Tail to tap over the outer edge here and bring back a little bit of that depth. And I'm just gonna blend around the edge of the shimmer. And I'm just gonna take that shade Dolphin Tail up under my lower lash line and about probably 3/4 of the way across, just to connect to that outer corner and add a little bit of depth and definition. Okay, and then you could totally just leave it there, do some mascara or eyeliner if you wanted for a very neutral, very pretty everyday look. But if you want a little twist, I think a fun, bright inner corner would be perfect with this. So for this side, I'm going to take the shade Electric Kelp, which is that really bright, vivid green. I'm loading my brush up with that, and then I'm just gonna pop that right in the inner corner. And I don't know, I feel like the lime green with the cool neutrals is kind of unexpected, but I really like the way that they pair together. So that is the first look before mascara. I'm gonna jump to the other side now and then put mascara on both eyes before I show you the finished look. So different take on the same general look on this side. So I'm gonna go in with the shade Driftwood. So if Dolphin Tail is the cool brown in this palette, Driftwood is definitely a little bit warmer. It has more red to it. But I also think that taupey shade, Smoky Pearl, would go really well with this warmer brown shade if you just wanted to warm it up a touch. I think that would be really pretty too. Okay, and then same as the other side, I'm just gonna take some more of that shade and warm up the outer corner. And then same as the other side, I'm gonna go in with some NYX glitter primer, but this time I'm gonna take the shade Sunken Treasure. And again, just tapping this over my lid. I think the NYX glitter primer is really the way to go with these shades because I'm getting so much impact from these shimmers too. And it's just making everything easier. Going back in and just touching up that outer corner. Both of these shimmer shades are just stunning. That shade Sunken Treasure is like the warm bronzy version of the taupey silver that Smoky Pearl has. And they're both just absolutely gorgeous. Taking that shade Driftwood on the lower lash line. I am seeing a little bit of fallout, but it's a lot less than the last time I showed you all this palette. Just a lot more manageable using the NYX glitter primer, but I still stand by what I said in that other video, which is do your eyeshadow before your foundation when you're working with this palette, just to be on the safe side. Okay, that shade Electric Kelp on the inner corner with the warmer look, I think would be absolutely stunning, of course. But I also just wanted to show you all another option for a bright pop of an inner corner. So I'm gonna take the shade Mermaid Scale for my inner corner this time. And because the shade Mermaid Scale is that flakier texture, I'm just spraying my brush to hopefully get it to stick. And I think this side is really fun too. So let me go put on some mascara and then I will come back and show you two versions of the same little jazzed up everyday neutral look. Okay, so here is the cooler tone side with mascara. And here is the warmer toned side with mascara. Which is your favorite? I'm actually really pleasantly surprised by how much I like the cooler tone side. I think because it's got a hint of purple to it. So I don't know, it's kind of almost like you're doing a purple and green look, but love both of these options. I feel like you could mix and match the inner corner shades too. And I just love that there's a really easy way to make any beautiful neutral look that much more special and unique by using those brighter inner corner shades. So you'll have to let me know in the comments down below which one you liked the best, and let's get on to look number 2. Okay, so we are back for look 2. So I'm gonna go ahead and zoom you in. I'm gonna start with Night Swim, that deep navy color, and I'm just gonna go ahead and build that up on the outer third. I'm gonna try to blend that into the crease a little bit, but I'm finding with this deepest blue shade that sometimes the blending can get a little bit out of hand. So I'm just gonna try to be a little bit careful. Okay, and then gonna take some NYX glitter primer on a flat brush, and I'm gonna take that all the way through the inner part of my lid and also onto the navy blue that we just put down a little bit as well. And then for the inner part of my lid, I'm taking that shade Smoky Pearl and just pressing that into the glitter glue. And then I'm gonna take the shade Ocean Jewel and use that to help blend into the blue. And just taking my finger through the middle to just blend those two shades together. I did get a little bit of fallout again, so I'm just gonna try to sweep that away. And then just to help blend everything a little bit more, I'm gonna take a little bit of Dolphin Tail and just kind of go around those edges. All right, let me go match up the other eye and then I will come back to do the lower lash line with you. Okay, so for the lower lash line, I'm gonna take some more Night Swim and just go about halfway, connecting that up with the outer corner here. And then I'm just gonna take a little bit more NYX glitter primer and I'm gonna put it right up under my lash line on either side. And then grab some Oyster Pearl and put that on the inner half. All right, so let me go put some mascara on and then I will show you the finished look number 2. Okay, so here is the finished look for look number 2. I think it came out pretty, if not exactly what I had in mind. So definitely not my favorite look I've made with this palette, but a fun combination to try. I think in the future I will probably just stick with using Smoky Pearl with neutral shades because that seems to allow the shade to shine the best. But let's get on to look number 3. Okay, so for look number 3, I want to try to do a more lightweight, everyday look, because I was thinking, I think we all know that this palette does the smoky looks really well and the bright, colorful looks really well. But what kind of look would I create with this palette if I just wanted something really light, an everyday look, if I was going to wear this palette to work or school? So that's what I'm going to try to do. I just kind of want to see, let me zoom you in quick. I just kind of want to see if that kind of a look can be done with this palette. I feel like every look that I create with this palette is pretty dramatic. So I'm going to start by mixing Dolphin Tail and Driftwood together, and I'm going to buff that through my crease. I'm just going to try to blend that out so it's pretty diffused. And then mix those two shades again for my lower lash line. Just to create a little bit of definition. And then I'm going to take some NYX glitter primer. I'm just going to use my finger for the sake of convenience and put a little bit of that all over the lid. And then I'm going to take my finger into Iridescent Shell and just press that all over my lid. And just go back in to touch up my outer corners with those neutral shades again. And then I'm just going to take an angled brush. This is a Morphe M160, and I'm going to dip into Night Swim and just give myself a little liner just on the outer corner. Nothing too precise, just a little bit of definition there. And I also think that little bit of blue ties in with the blue sparkles that are all through that Iridescent Shell shade. So I don't know, would you wear this as an everyday look? I still feel like it's pretty impactful and glittery and in your face, but it's definitely pretty. I think that shade Iridescent Shell is probably one of the most special shades in my entire collection. Let me throw on some mascara and then I will show you the final look and close out this video. Okay, and here is the finished look number 3. I think it's definitely a fun way to spice up your everyday look. I feel like it gives some really nice interest to the eyes when you blink or when your eyes are closed, but when my eyes are open, it doesn't necessarily look super dramatic, so that's kind of fun. It's just like a little extra pop of something every time I blink, which is cute. So those are 3 looks, or I guess 4 more looks that hopefully can give you some inspiration when playing with your palette if you have it, or with similar shades that you have in your collection. I have to say, I feel like my creativity was really stretched by this palette. I feel like a lot of the videos that I've been seeing of people making looks with this palette are doing really similar things. And so trying to find another way of using this palette to be a little bit different from all the other looks that I've seen was quite the challenge. But it definitely does what it does really well. So if you like blues and smoky looks, this palette is awesome. If you like pops of color, if you like lots of glitter and really impactful shimmers, this palette is awesome for that. So I would love to hear from you if you have a favorite look that you've created with this palette. Please let me know in the comments, because I am just continuing to try and think of other ways to pair these shades together and create new combinations. Really quickly before I end the video, I did just want to say thank you so much for your patience with me over the past couple of weeks. I posted over on my community page a little bit more about where I've been. I did unfortunately have a pretty devastating loss in the family in March, and I have been spending time with my family and processing that loss over the past couple of weeks. I'm not going to say too much more about it because in the community post I did say that beauty and YouTube and Instagram are really my escape and my happy place. So I'm kind of treating this as my safe space away from all of the really difficult stuff that's been going on. But I did just want to let you all know that that's where I've been. So I'm trying to ease my way back into making videos because it really does give me something to look forward to. And I have so much fun when I am making beauty content and playing with makeup and talking with all of you. So thank you so much for your understanding and for your support as well. We just reached the 300 subscriber mark, which is wild to me. Thank you so much if you have subscribed. Thank you to everyone who's watching and liking and commenting. I see you and I thank you so much for being here, and look forward to getting back into the swing of making some videos. If you have anything that you would like to see, any requests, feel free to let me know in the comments as well. I will just mention that because I haven't been using my makeup as regularly in March, I will be pushing my Project 10 pan and my palette panning updates another month. So you will have 2 months worth of progress in those next updates at the beginning of May. So I hope that makes sense, and hopefully everyone can understand that. I just really wouldn't have any progress to show you if I did those videos right now. So I'm going to use all of April to hopefully start using my makeup again and have some more exciting updates for you in the next couple of weeks. So that is everything that I wanted to update you on. Thank you again for being here and for watching this video. I hope you are all doing okay, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye!